My name's Zac Dingee. I run a $100 million a year solar sales company. And in the last 7 years, I've ran 2 marathons, a half Ironman, 8 Spartan races, and done a dozen different workouts and competitions and all kinds of little things. Today, I want to talk about what I do to stay fit, traveling over 100 days a year. I don't know how common this is for a lot of people and how much this video is really for you, but I could tell you, if you travel a lot, or even if you travel at all, you know how difficult it can be to find good food or stay in shape, especially if you're traveling in America, because as we know, the food system in America isn't great, and 95% of all grocery stores are poisonous food. So if you're traveling outside of America, like for example, I just went to Costa Rica last week. Very easy to eat in Costa Rica. You go to any spot on any part of the country, and they have $5 rice, beans, chicken, or fresh fish with a little plantains, and it's the best food you've ever had, and it costs you basically no money. So if you're traveling like that, super easy. But I'm talking about traveling for work. So for myself, I travel a lot around New York State now. I have multiple different offices in different parts of New York State. So I just will have to drive like 4 hours and then stay there for 5 or 6 days to work for that office. That becomes a little more difficult because now you're not at home. You don't have a place to cook. You're in a hotel room. You kind of can't make food at the house. So what are you going to do? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. But for myself, I went and wrote down in my calendar how many times I traveled last year. So I went back last year and I actually looked at my entire calendar for 2025. In 2024, I took 49 flights, which is almost 1 flight per week. And that's because my offices were spread all across the country. This year in 2025, all of our offices consolidated to New York. So I didn't have nearly as much flights, but I went and looked at my travel schedule and I traveled on average 10 days of every month. So nearly 25-30% of every month I was not in my house and I was in a different place. So the first thing that I want to talk about is if you are traveling a lot and you are taking flights, that may be the hardest thing, especially for me. So my fiance comes from Rochester. She lived like 5 minutes from the airport. So she's very used to like waking up, getting there 30 minutes before her flight and leaving her house 5 minutes earlier to that and not having to worry about food or whatever and just waiting until she landed somewhere. For me, and for maybe some of you, it takes me an hour and a half to get to the airport. So it's an hour and a half there, then I'm waiting there for an hour, then I'm going a 3-hour flight. That's like 6 hours. So I have no choice but to either bring food or just not eat. I created kind of an acronym, and maybe it's been said before, but I've been saying it for years. It's the 5 Ps. This right here. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. I know for myself, if I do not take 30 minutes the day before or the morning of to pack food or make food or stop and buy certain things for my flight, that I will end up slacking and doing something I shouldn't be doing. So when I think about I have to travel on a plane, I always prepare beforehand. So when I'm in the airport, my go-to snacks, the best snack in the world, arguably the greatest snack of all time, is beef jerky. And I'll give a shout out to Paul Saladino. He has a company called Lineage. I feel like everything in today's world is kind of underserved and overpriced. Like if you look at a Lay's bag of chips, how much of that is actually air, how much of it is chips? Same thing for beef jerky. The beef jerky you get from the store is like 25% full, and 2 servings of it is 140 calories. It's like kind of a joke. Lineage from Paul Saladino, it's literally packed to the brim. When you open it up, it like pours out. And there's, I think, 400 calories in a bag and like 54 grams of protein. It's basically a full steak that he must just slice up and air dry and put it in there. So the best airport snack in the world is beef jerky, and it's not even close. And it also, the reason why this is the best, because protein actually what makes you feel full. You can eat endless amounts of fries, literally until you feel like you're so stuffed that you can't even take a breath. But for steak or some kind of meat or protein, it's very hard to overeat. So when you eat beef jerky, it actually makes you feel satisfied because the saltiness of it and the fact that it's protein, which your body takes much longer to digest. So you feel a lot better. If you're not a beef jerky person, another really good low-calorie snack that's super satisfying is popcorn. Popcorn allows you to have that satiation where like you're actually eating something and it's salty and it's good, but it's not a high-calorie thing. And you have to be careful. Same thing with both of these. The majority of the stuff you find on the internet is not good. So for popcorn, you have to make sure it's only got like 1 or 2 ingredients, which is like salt and butter. You don't want any canola oil or vegetable oil, anything like that. So airport snacks, beef jerky, popcorn, and then the other things are like, I will just pack whole meals. It's really not that hard. You can get whole meals. I know this is a shock, but like when we left back from Costa Rica, obviously my wife or my fiance didn't get to cook before we left. So we stopped in Costa Rica on the way to the airport and bought a to-go bag with rice, beans, chicken, and at the airport, you walk through security. You can bring that on as a item, and then you can eat the meal in the airport. And that's what we did coming back from Costa Rica, so we didn't have to eat any crappy airport food. And then the last part is coffee is like the greatest fasting thing in the world. If you don't know what to eat, if you love coffee, drinking coffee is the easiest hack. And then after that, my last hack that I always do is seltzer. Seltzer water or anything carbonated seems to always curb my hunger, so I use that all the time. So those are the couple tips I have for the airport, but the big thing with the airport is really this right here. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you're traveling all the time and you're in airports, you kind of usually get lazy and you just start to eat airport food or you don't pack beforehand. It's incredible what 20 minutes of preparation can do for you when it comes to traveling. So that's number one. This is specifically for people on airports. 2 is create challenges. So for me, when I'm traveling a lot of times is just like a nuisance. For any of you who travel more than 50 days a year, you kind of get tired of it. Like me and my fiance were just talking about when we used to be excited for flights. When you were like growing up or back in the day, maybe if you travel now, didn't travel when you were younger, like I did, when you had a flight and you only took 1 or 2 flights a year, it was super exciting. When you are out of your house for the majority or 30% of the year, you don't like to travel anymore. It sucks. You're not comfortable in the place you're sleeping at. You don't have something to cook on. You can't get home cooked meals. Like all that stuff sucks. So for me, I have to have challenges or something to push me. What do I mean by that? Well, right now I signed up for a half Ironman in August, but I sign up for a race or sign up for some kind of event. And I've talked about this in previous videos too. This is such a hack for me. Willpower can only take you so far. To wake up in the morning in Syracuse, New York for me last month, it was 2 months ago, but wake up in the morning in Syracuse, New York 2 months ago and go for a run when it's 15 degrees outside is like the worst thing on planet Earth. But when I have a challenge or a race I'm signed up for or something that I have no choice but to do, it makes it a whole lot easier because I don't have a choice. I got to go do it. So I always try to create challenges. And then on top of that, mini challenges are good things that I like use to motivate me in the day to day. And I can call this like gamifying it. Like I will in my hotel room when I'm traveling by myself and I really don't feel like working out in the morning, I'll go down and I don't know, maybe I'm psychotic, but this is the stuff I do to myself. I'll go down and I'll get a yogurt bowl, or I'll go down and I'll get a smoothie or a coffee or whatever. And I'll be like, okay, I'm only allowed to take 1 bite of this yogurt bowl for every 10 push-ups I do. So I'll do 10 push-ups and then I can take a bite of my yogurt bowl. And then I'll do 10 push-ups and I can take another bite. And to me, it gets my workout in and it makes me motivated to do it. And hopefully that helps you. If it doesn't, forget what the heck I'm saying. But for me, this stuff works. Number 3, grocery shop. Huge, huge, huge tip here. When I travel, wherever I land or go, the first thing I do is go to the grocery store. Grocery shop. It's almost impossible to cook at a hotel The majority of hotels don't have stoves. All they have is microwaves. And microwaves are also horrible for you, so I don't really like to use that. So whenever I go anywhere, number one, I'm always gonna stop at the grocery store. So when I stop at the grocery store, this is my typical list that I've kind of just figured out of what I like to eat and what I'm actually gonna do and finish when I travel. First thing, always yogurt. Yogurt is just the easiest thing to eat in the morning. It's high in protein. It gets my day off right. I can't have eggs when I'm traveling, so I kind of have no choice. Yogurt, fruit, syrup, maple syrup, I should say, not just syrup. Maple syrup. You got to get the pure organic stuff. Don't get none of that BS. And usually like a form of a chocolate, we'll say. I try to go for cacao nibs because those are the healthiest things, but some form of chocolate, which is like my sweet snack. And I'm going to pause here for a second. This, yogurt, fruit, maple syrup, and cacao nibs, I usually, I'm not kidding, eat this twice a day because it's just the easiest thing to eat. I get protein, I get fruit, I get a little sweetness, and I get a little dessert all in one. This usually, if you make it right, has like 50 grams of protein and the right amount of carbs too. So this usually has like 35 grams of carbs and is only like 400 calories. It is the perfect meal to have, and it's so easy. Takes 3 minutes, and none of this you need to cook, and all of it is good ingredients. So I will legitimately eat this twice a day when I'm traveling. And then on top of that, if you go to a good grocery store like Whole Foods or Wegmans in Western New York, where that's like a super famous store if you don't know, you can get whole chicken cooked. So I'll get a thing of whole chicken cooked, and then you can also buy broccoli or the sides cooked. This right here solves all of my problems. This is my morning and night meals, and this is my lunch meals if I have to. If I don't get this and bring it to the house and put it in my hotel, I will always default to going out. I'm never gonna not eat. So it makes it so if I have this at the house, when I get home from working all day and I get in my hotel room, I just wanna sit and stay and I don't wanna go back out. I have this in my hotel room. These are the only options I have. So I have no choice but to eat these options. And so if I don't have anything else to eat, I'm too lazy typically to get up and leave and go somewhere else. And so this makes it perfect for me. So I know it seems like a simple grocery list, but if this is the only thing in your hotel, you don't have a choice. So that's number 3. I always go grocery shopping wherever I go, on arrival too. It is always the first thing I do. When we just went to Costa Rica, we had a big company event. We took 25 people there. We drove 2 hours to the airport. Most of us left at 5 in the morning. We landed in San Jose. It took us an hour and a half to get through customs. And it was like 4:50 or 5 o'clock. So we've all been traveling for 12 hours. And I made the guy stop at the grocery store so we can get food before we got there, because you never want to go back out. So not only do you need to stop at the grocery store, it needs to be the first thing you do on arrival. Don't forget that. Limit alcohol. This is one that I don't know if I'm going to get a lot of likes on or people are going to listen to me on, but if I can tell you a hack to traveling, to not feeling like crap and not overeating, is limit alcohol. I don't drink anymore. It's been almost a year now, but the only time that I really felt like I screwed up my entire diet is when I was drinking, and then you get really hungry. And also, science explains that the way alcohol and sugars mix, it's really bad for your body and you like gain more weight because of some process. But the point is, this is when you cheat on your diet. When you're drunk or you've been drinking and you're driving home and you want to stop and get dessert or pizza or any bad thing, very bad. On top of that, it's a liquid calorie that just destroys your metabolism. And I don't need to go all the way down the rabbit hole on this, because if you already don't drink, you're probably gonna nothing's gonna change from this video. And if you do drink, you're probably not gonna change for this one, because you know all the bad reasons why you do it anyway and you still do it. But if you want to stay healthy when you're traveling all the time, it's very easy to stop at a bar or stop somewhere when you're traveling in a new place and have a drink or two. And if you're traveling 100 days a year, that adds up to a lot of alcohol. So limit that. And then the last part is Last part is move your body. I don't know if you're watching this and you're familiar with blue zones. Blue zones, I'm going to say. Ooh, zones. But the blue zones are like, I think there's 5 or maybe 7. 5, 6 or 7. I can't remember now. But those are the places, 6 or 7. Those are the places that these people live to be like on average like 100 years old, and they're super healthy and have all these incredible health stats that like nowhere else in the world has. There's one in Greece, Italy. There's actually one in Costa Rica. There's one in California. Yeah, there's one in Japan. So their main thing, if you read up on what they say makes them healthy, is natural body movement. So when you're traveling, for me, this is like another little fun way to make it so when I'm traveling that I do something that makes me want to work out instead of just going to a normal gym or having to go find a gym and pay for a daily membership, is I try to focus on natural movement. The simplest one is if I'm at the beach, and I think everyone does this, I'm just going to walk on the beach. I love walking and running on the beach. It is like the most satisfying thing in the world. Other than that, when I was in Costa Rica, I tried surfing. Surfing is a crazy workout. You got to swim, you got to try to stand, you're going back and forth in the water, and it's an amazing workout. If I'm traveling to a place where there's mountains or forest, I'm going to hike. We did a 2-hour hike when we were in Costa Rica as well. So when I'm traveling, I don't focus so much on like the rigid structure of am I doing chest press and am I on my workout routine or those things. I focus on just moving my body. And so I let myself be loose and fluid, and then it makes it exciting because like if I worked out and I focused on working out, maybe I wouldn't have surfed in the morning because I would have said, well, I wanted to go to the gym instead. But I go and I do those things because it keeps it exciting for me. This is a very niche topic I'm talking about here. The majority of people on planet Earth probably don't travel 100 plus days a year to all different parts of the world. If you're running a business and you have multiple offices, or you're running a sales team and you have multiple offices, I think it's a very easy excuse to say, well, I travel a lot, and so that's why I can't eat healthy. And I did that for the first couple of years I traveled, and it sucks. So when you travel, if you stick to these things, and really, if I could sum this whole thing up, it's this top part right here. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you just plan and know you're traveling, and you take the day before and spend an hour or 30 minutes or whatever time you have to pack some snacks and good things that you're going to want to eat, if you write out what you're going to do when you're there and figure out hikes you're going to do or what kind of movement you can do, if you have some kind of challenge when you get there, if you do grocery shopping for the first 30 minutes you get there, it eliminates all the problems you're going to have when you're traveling. So if you're traveling a lot, stick to these 5 points to make sure that you don't put on 20 pounds and say, well, it's because I was traveling, and give your BS excuse. So if you travel a lot, we have offices all across New York State, or if you live anywhere in New York and you want me to come visit you, go to zacdingee.com, which is down in the link below. We are hiring. We're always hiring. We're always recruiting, and we'd love to have you part of our company. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.